Today we're going to be going through the best race day shoes for regular runners. Mid-pack runners can be out there for twice or maybe 3 times as long as the elites at the front of the field. And many of the very fastest shoes have been specifically designed for elite athletes that have perfect running form and run up much faster speeds. They're usually very stripped back and not going to provide enough support for the vast majority of runners out there, especially when you start to feel a little bit tired towards the end of the race and your form starts to slip a little bit. So for those runners who are going to be out there for considerably longer amount of time, the factors of choosing the right race day shoe are going to be quite different. So today we're going to be putting together a list of the very best race day shoes for 5Ks, 10Ks and also half marathons and marathons, focusing on things like comfort, stability, durability and all the different ways of striking the ground. Well, of course, making sure we've got some very fast options so you can run your very fastest and best race out there as well. All the shoes featured in today's video I bought 100% with my own money. Please support the channel by visiting my website benparks.com. We've got awesome running socks, running shorts and amazing 5-star rated training plans to get you to the finish line in the time that you want. Feel free to use code YouTube10 for 10% off your order. Right, let's start out with the best shoes for 5Ks and 10Ks with some examples of plated and also non-plated shoes. So over the 5K and 10K distance, we want something that's going to be stable, light, comfortable with a really good quick turn of pace. Starting out with 2 non-plated options. The first one being this, the Hoka Mach version 7, a lovely lightweight shoe that has just recently launched. This shoe set me back £140, stack coat at the back 37mm with a 5mm drop overall. Nice and lightweight, 254 grams. Midsole wise, we've got Hoka's supercritical EVA foam and the sizing was all good. They do offer this in the regular size and a wide size as well. What I particularly like about the Hoka Mach 7, love that lightweight, fast and fun feel with this one. You can really pick up the pace at the corners, you can really explode because it's so nice and light. Secondly, it gives you confidence in the corners as well. It's got a really nice grippy outsole. Doesn't look that grippy, but in reality it works really well. Thirdly, really liking the upper on this one. Very breathable, so be good in all conditions, especially warmer conditions, getting some good airflow coming through the shoe. It's also got the perfect amount of padding, really nice and supportive and comfortable. My fourth and final like with this one, just a very natural traditional ride. Lovely rocker at the front of the shoe. You can really get your legs turning underneath you quite nicely. In terms of dislikes, some people aren't going to like the slightly firmer nature of this one, which is really good for stability on one hand, but the trend at the moment does seem to be for those softer, more responsive foams. So if that's what you're looking for, then the next one, the Adidas EVO SL, might be better for you. So the Adidas EVO SL, one of the most popular shoes in the world at the moment for its sheer versatility and also value as well. Set me back £130 for this one. 39mm stack at the back, 7mm drop overall, nice and lightweight, 267 grams for me in my UK size 12. The midsole, we've got that lovely, amazing Adidas Lightstrike Pro foam, the same foam that they use in their high-end race shoes, and the sizing was all good and true to size to me. And what I really like about the EVO SL, it's so simple, it's fast, it's lightweight, and most importantly, it's a good fun shoe to run in as well. That high-end Lightstrike Pro foam is fantastic at keeping the weight down, but also giving a really nice, fun and responsive ride. Feels very happy at 5 and 10K paces especially, hence why we've got it in this section here. Thirdly, pretty good value. You can usually pick these up with a good discount, usually around about £100–110 if you're not that fussed what colour you're picking up. And fourth and final like here, just a very versatile shoe, a shoe that you can do all of your training runs in and then take out there on race day as well. It's just going to be so happy at whatever pace you're going. In terms of my dislikes with this one, it certainly is not the most stable option out there. You have to watch yourself in those sharp corners or on any slightly unstable terrain. If you're worried about that, then definitely look at the Hoka. The upper is not the most durable one. I have started testing this one just here, the woven EVO SL, and it's a lot better on that one. So at the moment, I'd recommend going for the woven. So if you prefer a slightly firmer feel with a little bit more stability, go for the Hoka. If you want a more soft, bouncy ride, a bit more responsive, then definitely go for the Adidas. So those were my 2 non-plated options. Now to have a chat about some plated options. If you want a little bit more assistance, and I've got 2 options that are going to be perfect for you here. Starting out with Nike's Vaporfly version 4, one of the most loved shoes, the Vaporfly, for years and years. Had a pretty major update with version 4. It's now very lightweight and great for those shorter distances of 5Ks and 10Ks. Price-wise, the shoe set me back around about £240, but you can definitely always find a good deal in this one, depending on what colour you want to go for. Stack at the back of the shoe, 35mm with a 6mm drop overall. Weight-wise, really lightweight here, 210 grams for me in my size. Midsole-wise, we've got a full-length carbon fibre fly plate and Nike Zoom X foam, but most importantly here, it's not really super stiff like some of the more high-end race shoes are, so it's going to be very accommodating to run in, and sizing, all good. True to size for me. Now, what I really like about the Vaporfly version 4, very lightweight, but also a very smooth riding shoe as well. The shoe just disappears underneath you as you run. While it is a little bit more stripped back than some of the options on the list today, you still get a good amount of padding in the right places to look after you. Secondly, really very breathable upper, really nice lockdown to hold your feet in place. And then thirdly, it's just a very fast shoe. Personally love that natural ride that this shoe is offering. The angle of the plate really helps with that. When you're coming to the finish, you really want to inject that burst of speed. This is the shoe you want to be having on your feet. In terms of dislikes with the Vaporfly, it is a little bit narrow through the midfoot, and it is also a little bit soft at the back of the shoe, so may not be ideal if you're a heel striker. If that's the case, then have a look at the next shoe coming up. So yes, heel strikers, and really anyone, have a look at the Puma Deviate Nitro version 4. Puma have been on a real roll recently with some fantastic products, and a real standout is this shoe, the Deviate Nitro version 4, with its carbon composite plate built in. Price-wise, this shoe sent me back £150. 38mm at the back of the shoe, 8mm drop overall, and weight-wise, a lot heavier than the Nike shoe at 308 grams. Midsole, we've got a dual layer of Puma's Nitro foam here with that carbon composite power plate running through the middle of the shoe. The top layer is that soft layer of Puma foam, and then below that we've got a Puma blend for some extra stability. Sizing, I really would recommend going half a size down with this one. It was okay with my regular size, but it was just a little bit long for me. Now, what I really like about this shoe, one of the most versatile shoes out there. It feels comfortable at all different paces, whether you're jogging or you're going all out at your 5K pace. This shoe is going to look after you well. Secondly, the plate in the shoe is really user-friendly. It's got the right amount of flex in it for those mid-pack runners. The shoe feels very silky smooth while still benefiting from that plate as well. I really would say this is going to be one of the most perfect shoes for someone that wants to dip their toe into that carbon-plated market. Thirdly, supremely nimble and a shoe that really does support the foot really well. However you strike the ground, heel strikers, midfoot strikers, forefoot strikers will be looked after here. And then my fourth and final light, Puma have got a really good reputation for their grip on the bottom of the shoe, the Puma grip, and they definitely didn't let the side down here. It's fantastic. So any 180-degree turns, around a cone or on some wet roads and things like that, this shoe will handle it really well. In terms of dislikes, some people might find this shoe slightly on the firmer side, but it's still very responsive and pretty peppy as well. But it just doesn't have that soft, bouncy feeling. The Vaporfly, I feel, will be the faster of the two shoes, and hopefully you can find it for a lot less than the RRP at £240. But if you want to prioritize comfort and grip, then I'd really recommend going for the Puma. Right, that's the short distance shoes done. Let's move on to chat about the best shoes for those half marathons and marathons. So over these longer distances, the half marathons and marathons of this world, for many runners in the mid-pack, their running form will likely suffer a little bit towards the back of the race. Usually the strength isn't going to be quite there to maintain that lovely form, and heel striking can set in. Even some people have been having some walking breaks towards the back end of races as well. A stiff carbon plated racing shoe really is the last thing you're going to want to have on your feet at that time. If you're not landing on the right part of the shoe isn't really going to be doing all that much to help you. But with a nice comfortable shoe that's still got that bounce, still got that responsiveness in the foam, will look after your legs a lot better before you get to that point, and then afterwards as well. So we're looking for shoes that have a good amount of protection underfoot, good padding, very comfortable, however you strike the ground, and of course still be light and as fast as possible. Starting out, we've got two non-plated options here. The first one being the Asics Megablast. So the Asics Megablast was one of my very best shoes of 2025 and continues to be into 2026. Set me back £210, a little bit on the pricey side now. 45mm stack at the back of the shoe with an 8mm drop overall. Super lightweight, 275 grams for me and my size. Midsole wise, we've got Asics' FF Turbo Squared midsole midsole, an 80 PU foam from Asics, no plate in the shoe, but it's plenty stiff enough to get the amount of speed that you want out of the shoe. And the sizing with this one was all good and true to size for me. In terms of my likes with the Megablast, and there really are so many to get through, I've had to condense them down to a few here. It really does have that magic formula of being very lightweight and extremely comfortable as well. I don't know how Asics have done that with the back of the shoe here, but no heel slip or anything like that, just really good padding in the right places. It just works. Secondly, possibly the most fun shoe out there on the market at the moment. Very bouncy, combined with that geometry to really push your foot forward. I'd say it's really the fastest non-plated shoe at the moment. You get so much speed without compromising that comfort. I've done so many workouts in this shoe, I really don't feel I go all that much faster in some of the very high-end carbon plated race shoes. Thirdly, super smooth. However you strike the ground in this shoe, however you're running, whatever your form looks like, this shoe is going to be getting the most out of you. My fourth and final like, just so versatile, really comfortable at all different paces as well, but it really does want you to always go a little bit faster. But moving on to have a chat about a few dislikes, it's ever so slightly on the narrow side. Now I have had some issues with the upper, some bruising on my big toes, sort of in the midway through the life of the shoe. It's certainly long enough, but it just doesn't have the most amount of height in the toe box. Now, a few people have suffered with this. I guess the insole over time is just compressed a little bit. The shoe upper has just loosened up a little bit as well. And it really was between miles sort of 50 to 150 with this one. Very odd, but I have to bring it up in these videos. But it's now completely fine and gone away. Now I've gone over 200 miles in this shoe. It's also pretty expensive. It's very unlikely to be on offer. So if you want a more of a budget option, then the next shoe is going to definitely be a lot cheaper. The Nike Vomero Plus, let's get stuck into that one now. Last year, Nike restructured their daily lineup of shoes and came out with the amazing Vomero Plus, which has been a big hit with myself and also lots of different runners around the world. This shoe set me back £155, stack at the back 45mm. It does look a little bit higher than that, but your feet actually do sit slightly down into the foam here. 10mm of drop. Weight-wise, a lot more on the heavier side, probably the heaviest shoe on the list today at 359 grams, but it has a very grippy outsole. That's where a lot of that weight is. Midsole wise, we've got full length of Nike Zoom X midsole. Sizing, there are different widths available depending on what country you live in, but I really recommend going for your regular size. Now, in terms of what I really liked about this one, so just a really good all-round shoe, very versatile, very happy to cruise along at those half marathon or marathon paces. Also, those very chilled runs as well. It's just happy at whatever pace you want to go at. Less so at those 5 and 10k paces. That's why it's in this section. But at those slightly slower, more cruisy paces, it really does very well. Secondly, very, very, very comfortable. No slipping, no irritation at all with this one. A lovely padded tongue, which isn't gusseted, but it just stayed in place really well. Thirdly, good width in the toe box. Really nice breathable upper. Fourthly, very smooth riding shoe. Again, however you're going to be striking the ground, the shoe is going to look after you really well. And my fifth and final like with this one, you're getting a very soft, bouncy, but responsive ride. Some people really like that bouncy sort of trampoline, marshmallowy type ride as you run along. And if you do, this shoe is going to be really good for you. In terms of dislikes, this is a really big, huge shoe volume-wise. And you also have to be aware that the shoe isn't going to be the best in the corners either. With that soft foam and that max stack nature of the shoe, you just have to be wary in the corners, not to sort of turn an ankle or anything like that. But the outsole really does help with that stability. And it's just not going to have those all-out paces that something like the Megablast. The foam in that is just a little bit more responsive, a little bit better, and it's just so much lighter as well. Whereas this is a slightly bigger and heavier option. So go for the Megablast if you want that fastest, lightest shoe, whereas go for the Vomero Plus if you want to have a really comfortable option, and you could potentially just have one shoe to do every type of run in. Plus it's also a little bit cheaper as well. Right, let's move on to have a chat about adding a little bit of extra assistance with some plated shoe options. The first one on the list, the Nike Zoomfly version 6, a shoe that is so hard to beat for the price and the speed and the comfort on offer here. It's a shoe that's been very popular with very good reason. I find myself consistently recommending this one. Price-wise, this shoe sent me back £165, 42mm stack at the back of the shoe, 8mm drop overall. Weight-wise, a little bit on the heavy side, 322 grams for me and my size. Midsole, we've got a dual layer midsole here, one layer layer of soft Zoom X Puma foam, and then an EVA layer underneath that for that extra amount of stability, with that all-important carbon fiber fly plate running through the middle. Sizing was all good with this one, true to size for me. Now, what I really like about the Zoomfly version 6, surprisingly quick shoe given just how bulky this shoe looks, getting some really good value for money here. Secondly, the rocker at the front leads to a lovely smooth turnover, a shoe that just loves to cruise at speed, especially marathon paces for a long amount of time. Love doing my really sort of longer marathon pace reps in the shoe. It just sings at that pace. Thirdly, very durable. The outsole is fantastic. It's grippy, a shoe that will last a long amount of time. And then fourthly, the dual layer midsole is responsive and very bouncy as well. The plate is definitely not aggressive at all in this one. A great shoe for race day, but also on those longer runs where you want to have that bit of assistance in your race pace blocks. In terms of dislikes, it can be a little bit noisy with that very grippy outsole. It does go away over time. It's definitely not the prettiest shoe to look at, and not ideal for any heel strikers with just some poor rear foot stability with this one. So you might well be better with the next shoe coming up, which is going to be really good for any heel strikers, the Hoka Rocket X version 3. So the Hoka Rocket X version 3, one of the lightest and most comfortable options out there that rides so smoothly as you get your runs done. Price wise, a little bit on the expensive side, £220, 40mm stack at the back of the shoe, 7mm drop over all, but so lightweight, again 241 grams. Midsoles, we've got Hoka's dual density Puma with a carbon plate in this one as well. It's very bouncy and also all good sizing wise and true to size for me. What I really like about the Hoka Rocket X, as I said, it's so smooth and really stable as well. With this shoe, it really doesn't matter where you strike the ground. You don't need to have perfect running form. This shoe will be working for you. Well, definitely one of the most, if not the most stable race day options out there on the market. Secondly, you're getting a really good amount of padding. The upper holds that foot in place really well, really nice dialed in race day fit, and just very comfortable overall. And then the shoe has a really nice geometry to it. Love the rocker at the front of the shoe, helping that shoe be so smooth, but it just feels so natural to run in this one. Anyone running a marathon in that 3 to 4 hour range, I think they're really going to love this shoe. One of the best options for people in that pace range. A shoe that you can do a lot of your training in, plus of course take out there on race day as well. So many different paces on offer here in really good amount of comfort. In terms of dislikes, sadly it is a little bit expensive, and then it does trade a little bit of speed for that comfort that you're getting with this one as well. But it's still a fast shoe, not the most aggressive one out there, but it's still a shoe that's going to be very comfortable for a lot of people over the long run. Right, finally, let's have a chat about the last shoe on the list, the New Balance SC Elite version 5. Right, the SC Elite version 5, a firm favourite on many start lines all around the world, especially over the marathon distance, because it has that reputation deservedly for comfort. Price wise, this shoe set me back, unfortunately, £260. You can definitely pick this shoe up a little bit cheaper now. Stack at the back, 40mm with an 8mm drop over all. Nice and lightweight here again, 248 grams. We've got the fuel cell foam and a carbon fiber plate running through the shoe for New Balance. There is a wide option available, very rare in these type of shoes, so get that if you have a slightly wider foot, but it was all good and true to size for me. And what I really like about the New Balance, it's surprisingly comfortable for a super shoe. This is a shoe that the very elites of the elites will be running in. It's the top shoe for New Balance, but I put it on the list because it is so comfortable over the course of the long run. Lots of padding in the heel, a roomy toe box for a super shoe. It does feel like a regular daily shoe comfort wise. Secondly, amazing grip on the bottom of the shoe here. I'd definitely be choosing this shoe if I had a race in some slightly poorer conditions. Thirdly, again, like the Hoka, it's a very stable option as well. However you're striking the ground, this shoe is going to look after you. And my final light, the carbon fiber plate in the shoe isn't too aggressive. Lots of mid-packers are still going to be able to extract a lot of performance out of the carbon fiber plate here. In terms of dislikes with this one, while it does have those good comfort additions, it does make it a little bit heavier than some of its direct competitors from other brands. And also, it's very expensive in the UK at least. So go for the Zoomfly if you want to save a bit of money and you're a mid-foot or forefoot striker. Go for the Rocket X if you're a rear foot striker. You want that very nice smooth ride. And finally, go for the New Balance if you want a shoe that can generally compete with the high-end race shoes out there. And definitely this is the most mid-pack friendly of all of the highest end carbon race day shoes. So there we have it, guys. From Sarah and myself, just want to wish wish you an amazing race when you're next on the start line. Let me know where you're racing, what shoes you're going to have on your feet. Let me know down in the comments and we'll catch up there for a chat. All things running shoes and races as well. The next video coming up will be my most comfortable daily shoes, and also in a few days we'll put it down there, will be the Megablast review after 250 miles over on the second channel. That's it guys, keep on working hard, keep on getting it done. I'll see you very soon in the next one.